Assassin's Creed Unity, a fresh new start. Assassin's Creed Unity tells the story of Arno Dorian. Some spoilery stuff happens and he becomes an assassin out to avenge. While the story may seem familiar at first, I found it to be very original and personal. It was refreshing to have a character that feels real rather than a larger-than-life hero like past Assassin's Creed games. It's just a shame that the character development isn't there to make the emotions feel as real as Arno does. Due to complaints of Assassin's Creed 3, Ubisoft seems a bit afraid to let you see a character grow and evolve. The story skips ahead too quickly and doesn't allow you to dive too deep into character development. Arno's careless and selfish. He has a crush, but it all feels pre-existing. The story feels very set up rather than natural and flowing, but that didn't take away from the fact that I still cared about Arno and the outcome of his tale. Setup is the ultimate downfall of the game's 12-hour campaign. While they have the graphics down and the power to make cutscenes and the in-game engine look nearly perfect, the flow that previous games had is missing. It very rarely feels like the world around you is alive during the main story missions. You don't get to a spot to see things in action, you get there and the action spawns. You don't see it spawn, but your sixth sense can just feel it spawn. You can feel that it waits on you. The campaign has an intense emphasis on stealth. Like Assassin's Creed 4, the campaign here seems to follow the same pattern of mission structure. Rather than tailing, this time you do a lot of sneaking and infiltrating. Luckily, unlike Assassin's Creed 4, Unity does a great job of hiding the repetitiveness. Every mission, though containing nearly identical objectives, always contain different approaches, never making you feel like you just did this even though you pretty much did. I really hope that the dev team is just trying to show off the new stealth mechanics and AI as much as possible, and it isn't a structure staple of future games. Optional objectives are back, just now disguised as quote-unquote challenges, and sometimes seem pointless and annoyingly impossible to do. Not because they are, but because you feel crippled after being so used to whistling to attract guards and having infinite eagle vision. It's really hard to manipulate the environment in Unity compared to the past games, which by itself I don't mind that much, even though it gets annoying when you're tasked with taking out more than 5 targets. And when optional objectives are thrown in like hiding spot kills is when I really start to mind. All you can do to lure is use a cherry bomb, and even then it just allures guards and thugs. They won't actually move to the spot to check things out, and the entire stealth system lacks flow. Trying to take cover doesn't work half of the time. It's hard to leave cover and stay crouched to prevent detection from the spidey sensed enemies. It's all just very awkward. Assassin's Creed Unity does do a wonderful job of pulling you in though. I was massively impressed with the opening of Assassin's Creed Unity. I forgot I didn't live in 18th century France for the first 30 minutes of the game, and then I try to open the first chest I find and pow! Smacked with play some mission in our companion app, so I take out my 21st century cell phone and lose all immersion instantly. Sure, I love the idea of unlocking things for my character while I'm on the go, but I don't want to be smacked with locked chests that force me to use your apps and websites. Keyword there is force. I like the app, it grew on me, but it should be optional, especially when they don't work half of the time like initiates. It should be used as an opportunity to continue your quest away from the game, not force-fed if you want to fully clean your map. And there's a lot of map cleaning to do, which for the first time since Assassin's Creed 3 I can actually appreciate. Collectibles such as chests in Assassin's Creed Unity are useful again, as there aren't many ways to make money in the game outside of quests for the first half of the game. They will keep you in Unity's world for a good 10 plus hours by themselves, finally immersing you in the Assassin's Creed universe again, unlocking weapons, outfits, and upgrades. I went into Unity not expecting much. I heard nothing but bad things, and I admit when I actually got into the world I absolutely hated it, but I paused for a moment to find why I hated it. The game was frustrating to me, the button layout has changed, double assassinations had to be unlocked, eagle vision needed a cooldown, I was dying almost instantly when I would get into fights, but the truth that I found is that I don't hate Unity. I hated change. I hated that the comfort and the familiarity I was used to was gone. This realization turned that hate into appreciation and love. It reminded me of playing Assassin's Creed Revelations again. In my memory, Revelations was the most immersive game I've ever played and the hardest Assassin's Creed game I've ever played. It was also my first. I felt like I had to pick that game apart for its best weapons. I had to pick my fights and master its combat. This is exactly what Unity was for me. It was like playing the series for the first time all over again. Assassin's Creed Unity has scrapped the familiar combat system to make it immersive rather than swift and satisfying, which some may love and others may hate. I personally hated it at first. I hated going to a 5-diamond difficulty district and getting killed in 2 to 3 hits when enemies there needed nearly 20 hits to die. Combat is now attack, parry, and dodge. It's fun, but not perfect. I found myself not getting credit for parries, and for some reason the developers thought it would be a great idea to get rid of human shields. The only way not to get shot now is to roll around in the dirt, and even then it isn't a guarantee. The enemy AI in Unity are ridiculously accurate. They are hashtag hacks aimbot noobs. The gunplay ruins the combat and makes it feel cheap. Enemies essentially get automated assault rifles, and despite seemingly having endless clips, never have ammo or medicine on them when you loot them, which makes combat even more frustrating. Money is hard to come by, and you'll find yourself drinking down medicine like water and emptying your barrel like you're in a Western showdown. It's annoying to have to find a shop to refill these vital consumables, as they seem to be extremely rare to find on a body, which makes no sense. And again, money is hard to come by during the first half of the game, so it sucks having to sacrifice upgrades to prevent quick deaths on medicines to keep you from desyncing. These no-scope snipers will hit you 99% of the time, even when you're moving and dancing around like a madman, making the customization that much more important. For the first time in Assassin's Creed history, you have individual articles of clothing that can boost your health, stealth, melee, and ranged attacks. You luckily don't have to choose one or the other. As long as you are anonymous, you can freely swap clothing to prepare for a specific approach you plan on taking for a mission. If you want to sneak around, max out your stealth and ranged attacks. If you want to go in sword swinging, balance your melee and health. If you aren't sure, balance all four. I love the addition of this system, and I love working to unlock everything. But even when I upgraded myself to a level 4 out of 5, I found myself the victim of many cheap deaths, even in a 3-diamond district. It wasn't until I finally had all legendary gear that things started to feel fair and balanced to me. Around the city there are of course collectibles as I mentioned, but a world that almost feels alive. Assassin's Creed got the city right in Assassin's Creed through Assassin's Creed Revelations, but from 3 onwards something changed. The crowd no longer reacts to you, but rather moves around you. They aren't calling you names, running up to you, or throwing rocks at you as they were in the past. They're having their own conversations and are randomly getting robbed and ganged up on. The crowd immersion has improved in Unity since Assassin's Creed 3, but hardly. Immersion to me is being noticed when I arrive, not just when I run into someone. Sure, that sounds narcissistic, but when you're the protagonist, pack the narcissism on. Kinda brought me back to the Call of Duty Ghost demo when they bragged about the fish moving when you got close. This is what Unity's world feels like. Artificial triggers. When the city really starts to come alive is with its side content. Other than being the Batman of Paris, you can also be the Sherlock Holmes of Paris by solving murder mysteries that pop up on the map as you run around. I really enjoyed my time with these missions. You search for clues with eagle vision and carefully listen to conversations until you believe you've gathered enough information to rightfully accuse who you believe the perpetrator is. These murder mysteries were some of my favorite side missions in gaming history. If solving murders isn't your thing, there are about 70 Paris story missions scattered throughout the map that all tell individual stories, some pretty interesting and crazy. A lot of wild goose chasing, but they are fun to run through and learn about the strange things going on throughout the city. This is where you really get a feel for the revolution going on around you. Honestly, these side missions are up to par with the main campaigns of all past Assassin's Creed games. There are also mind-numbing Nostradamus enigmas that give clues to locations in the game to find armor pieces. Many will find the difficulty of these riddles frustrating and annoying, but I appreciate the task at hand. Many, if not all, will have you searching the internet for their meanings. Assassin's Creed Unity is a game that will last you a while. I know that frustrates a lot of you that just want to pop in the game and have everything by the end of the week with little to no effort. Unity will not allow this. Prepare to do some work and research if you want to fully complete the game. Unity of course also features a co-op mode where you can play missions with up to 3 other people or alone. These missions consist of heists and regular missions. All for the most part follow the formula of the main campaign. Choose your approach and get the job done with your friends or randoms, and as expected, your pairings will really make or break your experience with co-op. Not everyone takes bonuses and completion as serious as you do. There are also clubs to join, club missions to complete, and solo club missions that will have you running around taking care of the crooks in Paris. All in all, Assassin's Creed Unity will give you a great 50 to 100 hours of gameplay easily if you plan on doing everything there is to. While many hype reviewers may have been let down, which ultimately affected their score, I'm not a hype reviewer and hype didn't affect mine. For what it is, an action-adventure stealth game, 8 out of 10, and as an overall game, 8.5 out of 10. If you played Assassin's Creed Unity, tell me what you thought about it down in the comment section below. If you haven't played it, tell me if you plan on picking it up. Thumbs up if you like the video, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and tune in Monday for first impressions where you find out what game we're playing next. Thanks for watching.
dream, that. We're gonna... Ah, sod it. Only way I've got this post with my life. Bloody counter-raid!